Hello YouTube, this is Callum from English Shooting. Now I recently did a live stream, and within that live stream I actually talked about how I got into shooting, and I think it's actually quite an interesting and somewhat funny story, so I thought I'd make a video specifically on that. Now the reason I say it's funny is because I didn't actually mean to get into shooting. Well, I didn't mean to get into sort of shotgun and firearm ownership. Basically, I was at university, I was spending a lot of time in my room working away, doing reports, revising, studying, just all the sort of normal uni things, and I was getting fairly bored. I was sort of spending my time on the internet, sort of clear my head, but I just wanted to get away from a screen and just do something a little bit fun and just distract myself for 5-10 minutes every now and then. So what I did is I went to a really well-known airsoft shop in London. It's in Camden and it's called Wolf Armories. I went in, basically explained what I wanted, and then soon found out that I needed to go on skirmishes and basically get approved and certified to be able to own an airsoft gun. He did also then explain that I could walk out with a gun as long as it was covered in just a really fluorescent colour or a non-replica colour, at least 50% of the gun. But I didn't want that. I wanted something that just looked a bit cool. I didn't want 50% of it painted in some vibrant colour. I wanted something that looked good and that I could just, have a little bit of a play with. But it soon became apparent that this wasn't going to be possible. I either needed to go on 3 skirmishes or I had to have something painted in a funny colour. So I thought, I'll just leave it for now. And that's when the guy looked up and said, probably what you want is an air pistol. Now, I had shot air rifles, I knew what an air rifle was, didn't know what an air pistol was, but it sounded cool. So he gave me directions to a local gun shop. I think it was Pack Guns, also in London. I walked up to them, walked in and said, do you have air pistols? They pointed down into the counter and there was Umarex Beretta 92 FS, and I just fell in love with it immediately from the start. It was a gun that I'd seen in many movies. I recognised it, it looked cool, he got it out, I was able to test fire it in the shop, and it just felt proper. It felt like a proper gun, full metal, and it made the bang, and it worked for me as much like as a real gun as I wanted it to. And it was more powerful, it had a louder bang. The guy said that you could shoot paper targets at 25 meters, no problem with it. So I thought, great, I'm having this. No matter what the price is, I'm gonna walk out with it, and I did. Got it back to my room, started shooting it, and ended up putting dents in my bin. So I thought, I can't carry on doing this. I'm gonna end up shooting up my room. I need to find somewhere where I can shoot it. Being in the middle of London, it wasn't like I could go out to Hyde Park and start shooting with it unless I wanted to end up in prison for a very long time. So I found out that my university had a shooting club, and I thought, oh, this is just going to be probably some shotguns and some air rifles. At this time I didn't know about firearms ownership within the UK. I went down there on a Wednesday and saw the plethora of guns they had. They had a Colt M4, the Umarex Colt M4 2.2 long rifle, all the different full bores, the 357 underlever rifle, and I was just like, wow. And then I asked the question that everyone asks, can I own this? And of course the answer is yes. And they explained to me, yeah, you become a full member, you can get your license, and I was sold. The following Sunday I went on a clay shoot, my first clay shoot, absolutely loved it, came back, downloaded the form, filled it out and sent it away. And actually, well, the rest is history from there. 6 months later, I had my shotgun certificate. I was then a full member. I applied for my firearms license, and then a year from that date, I had my firearms license and ended up then, I think 6 months or a year later, starting this channel. So the rest is history. But the reason I find this story so funny is a rule and regulation and law within the UK that's there to stop people from buying replica real looking guns actually led me down the path inadvertently to owning real guns. All I wanted was some plastic BB gun, and yet on the same day I ended up buying a far more powerful air pistol, something that could kill someone. And this law then not only ended up getting me something more powerful on the same day, but as I said, 6 months, a year later, I ended up owning a gun, a real firearm, and now I have 2 safes full of guns and firearms. And I just think it's a real sort of testament to the stupidity sometimes of our laws within the UK that, you know, something that's supposed to prevent someone from getting hold of a, you know, a real looking replica gun ends up leading them down the path of firearms ownership. So that's basically how I got into shooting, how I got into firearms ownership, and then how I started this channel. So I hope you found that interesting. Please let me know how you guys got into shooting in the comment section below. It's always interesting to see the paths that people have taken. But as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.